Okay, so content management and permissions. This has all been improved drastically. If you go to admin content, you'll see all the beelines and cells in your organization. You can have content that's been developed externally, also in your library. This stuff you can't edit, and you also can't change ownership of who can edit. That's because it doesn't belong to your organization. But all stuff that's owned by your organization, you can see here, most of the time stuff will be owned by your organization if you create it within your organization. This stuff now you can have much more granular control over who can edit and comment and read this content. So for instance, this Beeline AI platforms, we can see who has access. By default now, all admins in your organization have access to edit. You can't change this. If you're an admin, you have edit access to all content owned by your organization. You can also add new people. So you can add other people. You can give them edit permissions or just comment permissions, view permissions, and we'll go into this a little bit more in the build mode section. But yeah, this is how you can manage permissions. You can also do it from within build mode. So if I'm in the build mode for this Beeline, I can go up here and I can see exactly who can do what on it, and I can add people because it's owned by the organization. Thanks. Learning progress. So we've got a new dashboard card on the dashboard here, and that basically shows you everything you've been assigned and when it's due. It shows you what your progress is. It also gives you an easy next action so that learners will never be confused as to what to do next. This is the same on mobile and web. A new section we've also got now is called My Building. This is to keep your building of content nice and together. You can make sure that the beelines you're building are put in whatever status makes sense for where they are. So for instance, if you have one in development, you can keep it in that Kanban section there for development. You can also archive beelines. Just a note that the archive is per user. So if I archive this Huli one, for instance, it doesn't mean it's archived for everyone. It's just for you to be able to manage your own building. But the idea is that you can see all the stuff you can edit or comment in one place. And it's not, it used to be you can only access it through My Learning or admin content. Now there's a nice section for My Building. Another thing we have now is custom onboarding and profile fields. So you can actually customize this experience to a large degree. When users sign up for your academy, they'll go through something like this. And all of this stuff can be customized based on whether they are, you can put in your own custom slides here, whether you want a welcome video or anything like that. All of these slides can be customized for you and for your learners. There's also the opportunity to put your own custom fields here. These are defaults here, but you can actually put in, you can collect any sort of data you want from your learners. Just chat to us and we can show you how. Another thing that's massively changed in our late 2024 updates is actually build mode. So you'll notice the navigation's different. There's actually like big section navigation here, which we will continue to add to. It's actually built on Canva's UI UX. So you'll notice it's a bit darker. There's a whole lot of new things which we'll dive into. The first thing is there's no more hiding of cells and sections. What we've replaced that with is the ability to put sections and cells in draft or published. When you create a new section or new cell, it automatically goes into draft so that your existing learners, if there are any, don't get notified that there's a new empty cell that you've just created and also have their progress or completion go down. That doesn't happen because you can create cells that are in draft, and then when you're ready, you can publish them. At which point your learners will receive a notification that there's new content available. We'll go into what availability is too, but published is almost the replacement of what used to be called hidden cells. This is a little bit more obvious. You can either publish it when you're in the cell in question from the bar here, or on the actual sidebar here, you can set it to draft and publish it like that. You can also draft and publish whole sections. When you do this, just know that when you make a whole section draft, all the cells within it are considered to be draft 2. So just be aware of that. Thanks. Another build mode 3 new feature is availability. So this is different to publish and draft. A cell will still be, learners will still see cells that are not available. They just won't see any of the content in them. So I'll show you this. So for instance, if we set this availability, you'll have to enable availability control. You can control it either manually, in which case you can say if it's available or not. We'll try that first. So we're going to say it's not available. And if we look at this cell in learn mode, in that case, how a learner will see it is that the content isn't available and that it will be made available by their manager or instructor. This is useful when in live sessions you might want to release content to people, or basically release content manually, but still have the learners see what's coming up. You can also do this on a date. So you could say it becomes available on Thursday next week. They'll still see it, but they can go up to it and not past it because it's not available yet. So if you want any more info, please reach out. But this is meant to make asynchronous and synchronous learning, doing that easier. Yep, thanks. So we've also got a whole lot of new question types now. You can get to them by going in the new build side menu to questions and then add new question. You can see them all here. We've got flashcards, multiple choice, short answer questions. You're familiar with the submissions, which we've also got a whole lot of new improvements to. You can now do multi-file submissions. The layout's drastically improved. I'll show you that in a second with the learner side. We've got matching questions, ordering, drag the word. We've got AI conversational simulations. So you can actually say the learner is talking to the learner is a support agent talking to a customer, an angry customer with this issue. And you can sort of simulate that conversation and then assess for different soft skills. As well as if they did what you wanted them to do, example, come to a resolution. So there's a bunch of things you can do here when you set up that simulation. But also just to look at the submission side, you'll see the layout is a lot better now. You can do multi-file submissions and all of that. So a lot more versatility with the questions. So in addition to the other build mode improvements, we've also got commenting now. So you can actually add people and add my other user here as a commenter. You can share it with them. And then what you can do is like wherever you are in build mode, you can actually comment on stuff. You can tag people in there, maybe change title to be shorter. You can comment just like you would in Google Drive. It's still a bit of MVP this, but it works. And it's been very useful to a lot of our other clients. And yeah, you can add someone as a reviewer or a commenter. And if they enter build mode, so for instance, you might want to share one of your programs with one of the TAs, but you don't want them to be able to change stuff. You just want them to be able to comment. That's now possible. You can add them as a reviewer and they'll just be able to make comments. They won't be able to add cells or change things at all. So a lot of our other clients find it very useful. Another thing we have now is called the instructional design score. So you can see here that this little circle here is red. That's actually your score for your content. So it's obviously scoring us badly because you can actually go and have a look. So you can see you have a main title, but you don't have any section titles, you don't have any media, that type of thing. If you have AI mode enabled, which you guys can let us know and we can do that for you, you'll also see a score of your actual instructional design of how you're presenting the information. So just chat to me, Jay, or someone from my experience if you'd like me to turn that on for you. It turns on a bunch of AI features as well. Another thing we've added, which will be particularly interesting to our experience, but also a number of other clients, is this tasks tray at the top here. So any TA can go and review their learners' homework submissions. They can also communicate with the learners directly. They can annotate on the PDFs if they're PDFs. They can watch the videos if they're in here. They can say, they can chat to the learners and all of that, and they can review them essentially. And they can sort of do this next, and do all of the things they need to do. You can also add this, you can also access this from reporting. So if you go to the actual submission in question, then you can also go to, not a great one to go to, Birds Quiz. Yeah, so you could go and review all of them at once like this, in a specific Beeline or a specific, for a specific submission. So this should make things a lot more simple to review your learner submissions, much more seamless.